Okay, we're ready to start our next video, and we're going to go over some properties in BallScore that will help you move things along. When you first open BallScore, this is the screen you should see. You'll have the game set up here. You can open a scorebook. There's properties. If you want to create a roster manually, you can do that here. And then there's also a help section. This area here for BallScore scoring guide, you can open that up. It'll give you some scoring tips, things like that. A few things here you want to make sure you have correct. Your export league, this is the league that is going whenever you finish scoring a game at BallScore, it will export it to BallStat. You want to make sure you are exporting it to the right league. Remember, we have a 1977 replay going, so let me click this and it should bring up all my leagues, and we can go here to Major League Baseball 1977 and double click that league. Now it's going to ask if we want to set all the folders to the default for that league, and since we do want to do that, we're going to go ahead and click yes. So that's done. Now we're going to be exporting to the correct league. There's export database. Mostly in BallStat or in BallScore, you're going to be using a regular season. You can set up multiple databases. The only one we have set up for 1977 is regular season, so we're just going to go ahead and go there. That's going to be your default export database, but you can set up additional databases. A couple other items of note here: the export method. This is going to go directly to BallStat. Auto detect is on. And auto detect has something to do with these stats that you would see up here. Auto detect pulls in the stats from BallStat and then adds in the current game, so you can see exactly how your players are doing. Here's batters and here's pitchers. We'll see that whenever we start scoring a real game. And then auto save, we have save set up for each inning. So every time the scorebook flips, it saves the file. So set folder to current league. We really don't need to do anything with that. Now I'm going to click on properties here. We're going to go in and take a look. This is the first one that pulls up, and there are a few that I want you to make sure that you have set up. You can see display undo action, use players first initial and reports, things like that. Use runner advancement description. What this does, if this player had singled to get on and then moved to third on a single, you would see a single for how he got on, and then over here it would also list a single from how he moved from first to third. So that's what that use runner advancement description does. Auto detect in the game. There's really nothing you need to know about that. Hide extra defensive players, show better plate side markers. A lot of this you really don't need to know, but there are a couple that I do want to make sure that we have. This one here, do not show runner screen if third out was already made. The reason we don't want that to pop up is you could accidentally score a run for a team if you are unaware of what's going on with that. So make sure you have that checked. Let's see, what else do we got here? Flip scorebook automatically after third out. So after the third out's made, it's going to automatically flip to the other. 4-tier name matching when exporting. You want to make sure you have that. If you have players that have similar names, the 4-tier name matching helps distinguish them and keeps their records separate. Let's see here. Then we have innings for blank score sheet. I have mine set up to 12. You can set that up to anything you wish. If you were to print out a blank score sheet, this would give you 12 innings. The auto save is here. I have mine set up to save every time the scorebook flips. You probably don't want to use a save after each play. It's a good thing to have, but it gets a little cumbersome and it can slow down the gameplay. just because it's trying to save after each and every play. And that's about it for the General tab. The Folders tab, really not going to do anything with the Folders tab. You probably just want to keep those to the defaults. And this is telling us where exported score sheets and rosters and reports all go. Again, don't want to mess with those. The innings and counts, here is where you can set ball score so that you only have to hit S one time for a strikeout and B for a walk. So I could set this to 3, and if I get a strikeout I have to hit SSS. Or for a walk you can set it to 4, and then you have to hit the B button 4 times to get a walk. For replay scoring, it's best just to set that to 1 and be done with it. Nothing really else you want to change here. Normal game length, but we've already set that in BallStat, and that's reading from there, so don't want to change that. Editor, you really don't need to do anything with. I have mine set to Notepad, but you could set it to, I don't know, Word if you wanted, I guess. Really no need to change that though. Some colors, you can change the background colors and things. I usually don't mess with this, but feel free to do that to whatever your heart desires. Font cells, the same thing. Usually don't do anything with this. There is one interesting thing here, these sticky notes. You see them on the side over here where I haven't even set up a game, but it's saying the location's not set. It can't find the team, can't match up the teams that I'm using, which shouldn't be a surprise because I'm not using any teams. And then this batter's faced sticky is shows you how many batters your pitcher has faced. So those are a few of the options. There's the batters faced. If your score sheet doesn't balance, it'll put a sticky note up there saying, hey, you're not in balance. So just some different things you can set. I usually set those. I don't do the pitch count for current pitchers since I'm doing a replay. I really don't care what the pitch count is. Tabletop games tab. Excuse me. And there are a few things we can do here. We're not going to do those right now. I will show you those in later installments of these videos. Luff rosters and lineups, Trex rosters, things like that. Different things we can do with those rosters. You can even merge rosters. Really don't know why, but you could do it. Also, we also have ratings in the rosters, and you can customize these to whatever you want the various ratings to be. Since I play APA, I tend to use pitching, fielding, the various APA ratings that might be useful. Pitch tracking, we're really not going to use that here, so we can just skip over that. Auto detect and export. As I mentioned, auto detect. If you're doing a replay, you want to enable auto detect. What this does, like I said, is it will give you your player stats, updated stats, basically to the minute stats, and it will display them whenever that batter is up at the plate. It will also display the current pitcher that is in the game. So it gives you a couple of options there. Really not a lot you need to do with this. This batch export option, just this would decide how you're going to export the games, whether it's alphabetically, data creation, or data game. I do alphabetically, but it really doesn't make much difference. There are some options here for how your reports show up, batting average in box score, fielding stats in box score, ERA, win-loss records, things like that. So all of that is coming over from BallStat into BallScore, so you can see that in the reports here in BallScore. So like I said, we'll get back to that whenever we've played a few games and you can see exactly what that does. The themes, this is something if you wish to change the colors, you can do that. If you want to say flat light orange, you can see all this background stuff changes. It's not something at one time I used to mess with this quite a bit. I would set different themes for each team in a league that I was in, but it's not something I do a lot now. I just like to play the games now. So, but you can set, like I said, to your little heart's content. You can change this stuff and change whatever you want. It's a very powerful tool here. We're pretty much done with the BallScore properties, so I'm going to click OK and click OK there. And that's about it, all I'm going to discuss in this video. In the next one, we'll actually get into BallScore and pull in some rosters, and I'll show you some things there. We'll show the how to pull in the lineups from ATM Manager, the LUF files, and we'll show you how to add those lineups then to your rosters in BallScore. So until next time, we'll see you.